Hi, folks. I am doing an install in a church, and I run across churches often that are considering paying a company like my company to install SDI cables in their church. And the truth is, running the wires, the hidden wires inside of walls and conduit and things like that, they have volunteers in the church that would be more than willing to do that work if only they knew how to put the ends on the end of the cable. How do you actually put that thing on the end of this red cable, this pink cable here? And this is so easy to do. I'm going to make a video showing you how to do it, and at least a few churches will save thousands of dollars this way, not paying somebody to do work that's mostly the sort of work volunteers can do. Although if you want somebody to do it, give me a call. I mean, I'm happy to do it. Yeah, so what I'm going to show you how to do today is to take this wire. I use Belden 1694A wire. I tend to buy it in this red color, but they have it in a bunch of colors, doesn't matter. And we're going to put on the Belden compression connector, the 1694A BHDI, and you should find that in the description to this YouTube video. How do you take it and put it on this cable? So, yeah, it's pretty easy. You really need two tools, kind of a third tool. It's really nice to have just a pair of wire cutters. You have to have a normal pair of wire cutters, but you probably already have something around that'll do that job. Yeah, let's get into it. So there's two fundamental tools you're going to need. This tool is the crimper. That's from a company called Paladin. A lot of people make this, but just buy this one because I've done it. I'm going to show you the link, and you know it's going to work. And what this does is it just crimps the bottom of this down onto the wire when it's all ready to go. Just crimps it down. The other tool you need is this cable stripper from a company called Canare. That's Canary with an E at the end, not a Y. And this sort of prepares the cable for you. Yeah, so again, it's a TS100U, but again, you should see the link to that down in this description. So let me show you how to use this thing. There's a knob over here. You're going to set it to 1694A, which will be easier to see when you have it in person, but there's a knob right there. 1694A goes straight up just like that, because we're using 1694A cable. Then you got to clear out any old cable that's in there if it's this not the first time you're doing this. And then we take the wire. You need it fairly flat, so you might just, depending on how you've been doing things, cut off the end, just like that, put it in that hole, and push it deep into it. And then on the other side, there's a little kind of a plastic window. You should be able to see the cable touch that. Yeah, if it's not touching that, it's not in far enough. Okay, so it's touching. So I'm going to close the lid like that. And then I'm going to squeeze this thing right here, that right there. I'm going to squeeze it and then turn it in circles, 6, 8, 10 times, something like that. And then I'm going to go backwards once or twice just in case. Forward once or twice more. Is that more than once or twice, I guess? All right. And then you pop the lid. And this yellow thing that's sticking up, you hold that down. Pull the cable out. Now, if you're thinking, geez, Stephen, that was a lot of steps, it's okay. There's a list of directions right here on the machine just to remind you how the steps go. All right, so it comes out, and you can see it's prepared. It's put a little bit of the actual centerpiece there. It's got the wire insulator there. And then it might be hard to tell here, but this little bit right about there, there's a line that's been cut by this machine. So at this point, you can just pop this top piece off. Sometimes I do this. Yeah, just kind of squeezing it a little. You don't want to cut in very much, just enough to pop it off. There's another tool you can buy that's really good for that. I'll put a link to this in the description too, but we're trying to cut down on tools, right? And what I just showed you is pretty easy to do. Okay, so now what you do is you just, all the little wires that are going around here, all these ground wires, you just fold them all back, All right, now if you have a good look at it, you can see I've got all these wires folded back, and there's still a foil inside. What you're trying to do by bending all this back is to separate that foil. So you go and you check it a little bit. Cool. All right, done. Not that complicated. And if you miss one, I think it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I've never had trouble because of missing one. I've never made a cable and found it didn't work and had to go figure out what did I do wrong on that cable? And it was never because of that. So, all right. So good. So we've got that down. So what we're going to do, let's see if we can get that to focus. So you see there's that center there that's sort of copper colored. I'm going to put this pin right here into that center hole. Okay. And then you're going to see out here, see currently in there, there's not a pin to be seen. Although on a finished cable, there is a pin. I don't know how well that's going to show up on the camera. Oh yeah, pretty good. There you go. You can see the pin here. You can't see the pin here. Okay, so when we finish this guy, the pin's going to get pushed out. Okay, so I said I'm going to put it in that little copper circle there. Yeah. And I'm just going to push down until it's sort of pushing down on the wire on the outside. It's sort of pushing it down, that hair looking wire. Cool. And then if you look up on top, you can see the pin has been pushed out into place. It looks like a finished connector. Cool. So this is actually going to work already. If you connected this would work. The issue is that the little connector would always pop off. So you just need a way to squeeze it on without breaking it. So that's what this Paladin connector is for. So there's a lot of measurements here. Just use the biggest one and go to the back part of this connector. So you see how it kind of bubbles out here at the bottom? I tend to try and grab it at the back of that bubble, back half of that bubble, and squeeze down slowly. And then I'll turn it again and do it once more. And see, there you go. That's going to work. One issue, this is actually where things tend to go wrong. If you squeeze down too hard, you're going to cut through the cable. Sorry, I said that poorly. You can only squeeze down too hard because it goes to the end. You have to completely close it every single time you use this. But if you squeeze too high up, it messes up the connector. So you'd have to cut it off. You've destroyed this connector and you have to get a new one. But, for $3 to save thousands of dollars paying pros to come in and do this. Let's do it one more time, just in case it's helpful to you. You see how that's kind of like a little bit at an angle? It would probably work, but I don't want to worry about it. I'm just going to cut it nice and straight right there. Find another connector. There's one. Right. Next step is use these guys. I have a bunch of little pieces in here, so I'm going to shake those out. Pop that in there. Do this, and then turn it a few times. Turn it backwards a few times, and then forwards again a few times. Okay, and then pop the lid open. Let go of everything. Do this yellow guy. Try and pull the cable out. Yeah, again, it didn't pop off. So I'm going to squeeze this. I'm really trying to line up the blade of these wire cutters where that line is, because I just want to emphasize that that's already cut. All right, I'm squeezing a little bit. I'm not squeezing very tight because I don't want to cut through. Okay, all right, and fold these back. Fold that back. Nice and easy. Fold it back. That copper thing, copper goes into copper. Nice and easy. Push it down. Push down a little more. There we go. Yep. And now you can see the pin has come out. Cool. Now we're pretty much ready to go. We just need to squeeze that down. So I'm gonna put that in here. I'm trying to do it at a different angle just in case it's easier for you to see at home and figure it out. I'm just gonna squeeze it down. Ooh, I didn't do anything to it. Maybe I need to squeeze it farther up. All right, there we go. Now that did something. I'm going to turn around, do it one more time. Beautiful. Now that I can't hardly, well, I guess I shouldn't pull hard like that. I could pull it off. Don't do that, I guess. But there you go. That's it. As long as you don't literally pull really hard to pull the thing off, you're gonna be fine. And I'm gonna have to redo that. All right. Hope that's helpful. If you can get volunteers to run the bare wire through the walls, you can save the labor. It's not that hard to do that. Buy an extra few connectors. The first few you'll have to experiment with until you get the skills down, but it's really not hard at all. Okay, hope it's helpful.